see them in action. Okay, so that was do you want to return? What if I say no? Oh, no. What's going on? Yeah, I want to return home. What happens if I say no? Oh no, what happens now? I could just continue. If I quit, what happens then? I don't know. I hope quit just means quit back home and not quit game. That's kind of cool that if you finish a mission, you can just continue flying around. Do you want to save the replay data? No, not really. Supremacy of the Straits. Attacking planes, bombers, ships, facilities. Ooh. Means you get to do ground bombing runs at some point. Obtained aircraft. The fighter Spitfire Mark II. The BF-109 and the dive bomber Stuka. Cool. Okay, so we've got a little B next to the number 1, so that's obviously how we know we've done that level. I'm pretty sure on the this is 4 chapters per 4 levels per chapter, and there seems to be 5 chapters. Okay, we've clearly done number 1. So German forces attack British radar bases. On August the 12th, 1940 at 7:09 a.m, or shall I say 9:07 a.m, 7 minutes past 9 in the morning, the German forces, planning the invasion of the English mainland, executed attacks on radar bases in 4 locations along the southern English Channel. This was a prelude to the large-scale air raid on the English mainland, older tag Eagle Day, and was done with the aim of destroying the CH radar facilities, the new weapon developed by England, but because they could not exact the damage they had expected, the German High Command questioned the effect of the attack and later made the mistake of excluding the radar bases from their main attack objectives. So that's our briefing. Well, that was the explanation. This will be the briefing. The operation is as follows. At the present, we plan to do a large-scale bombing raid inland of the enemy's territory. And the moment we get to a bombing mission, I think I'm going to struggle. However, to move this operation smoothly, the enemy radar base on the Channel coast must be destroyed. Hopefully I can do that with machine guns. For this reason, we order you to attack this radar base this time. The radar base's air defences seem a bit weak, but be careful because there may be anti-aircraft artillery. Destroy the radar base and open a breach for the attack inland to the enemy's nation. Okie dokie. That's it, good luck. Thanks. You're gonna need it. Again, unit deployment. I'm assuming in the later levels you'll make the most of this, because we seem to be able to change their commands. Evasion from enemy attacks will be given priority. Depth charge attacks will be given priority. And it's really cool that you can actually alter the units around. Okay, and we have our new aircraft, which is cool. Mobility's covered because of the wing, the wingtip, which is a slight annoyance. They should have the attack, defense, mobility, speed, range, and bombing. It would have made more sense if they put that up a bit, so that it's slightly above the wing, because you can't actually see a mobility stat. At least I can't at all, because of the wingtip of the plane. But it looks like the Spitfire has slightly more mobility than the other two, which would sound about right. In actual fact, it has the same as the 109. But let's be honest, if a Spitfire is available, a Spitfire is what I'm going to use. Always. Oh, there's that sound. Right, so we are taking out a... Do we have a map? That might help. Oh, map. There we go. So, there's us. And we're miles away. Okay, slightly to the right. So we do have a map. Player, friend, enemy, ship, and ground. That's what we're after. So slightly to the right. Right, this seems to be better on the rudder, which is good. Already the Spitfire is proving it's a damn fine plane. We have machine guns. Fantastic. Because I may be able to do this with a machine gun run, because as we well know, I'm not very good with the bombs. I'll drop one or two in the hope that I'm risking stalling the engine by being shot. Okay, well some things went pop pop boom, so that's a start. I dropped one or two bombs. Oh, slow down. Hey, okay. Blow up, blow up, blow up, blow up. Wah! Okay, so right, let's sort of slap on the brakes here. Alright, I tried going between them, which obviously didn't work. Okay. So it seems I like the tinny sound you get when you get shot at. That's quite cool. It does seem that little that circle that's at the bottom there, in the middle of my plane, I think that is your bomb reticle, and it seems to... So if I drop it now... Direct hit. Right, okay, so... We've just figured out the bombing, which is good. Good. Make my life a bit easier. Bomb. Direct hit. No? Yeah? No? Yep, direct hit. Right, okay. Okay, so bombing runs aren't as bad as I initially made them out to be. Alright, I've got this now. As long as I don't run out of bombs. Okay, so the bombing reticle actually works quite well. There's a success failure bar at the top. I'm not quite sure. Well, it obviously means success or failure, but you know what I mean. Unless, of course, that's your health bar. Not quite sure. Anyway. That's a very small building. Not quite as tall as the towers were. A bit harder to hit. No? Whoa, all of a sudden my failure bar is rapidly rising. Okay, all of a sudden we're struggling. Bigger ones were fine, but just going to try and slow down a bit. There. Ah. Told off for not aiming accurately enough. I'm trying, trust me. No. Darn. Yeah, I suppose so. Alright, we'll give it one last go, and then we will call it quits to this video. But yeah. Hopefully this first flyover will be a bit easier because we're a bit better with the bombing now, so hopefully we can take out a couple of things in one passover. So, bomb! All right, okay. So, yeah, I was trying to get as close as I could. Anyway, you get the idea as to what this game's about. So, Aces of War on the PS2. First impressions. Yeah, what can I say? It's a flight sim. It's quite fun. I'm not. I'm certainly. I'm not bored. Which is a good start. Um, Bombing runs are quite difficult, but obviously you'd expect it to be harder back then than it is now, because we do get spoiled with Ace Combat, obviously. Because with Ace Combat you got missile guiding systems and bombs. You know, the drop bomb system doesn't really exist anymore. It's all done with torpedoes and heat-seeking missiles and stuff like that. So you can hit your target from far away. You don't have to be pretty much directly above them in order to drop a bomb onto a target. Nowadays you can be hundreds of miles out, lock your missile on target, and let rip, and off you go. Or in some cases or in a lot of cases with an Apache, for instance, you hang back and just volley off a couple of hundred rockets in one go. So the things were different back then. You had to be more precise with your aiming, and turning is much slow and stuff like that. But that's what you expect with a World War II flight sim. So yeah, yeah, it's all right. It's all right. Like I said, I do think I have been spoiled with Ace Combat because I knew what to expect, and being someone that has studied the wars, I knew that the planes were not going to be as fast as today's planes. But I must admit, even with the slow movement and stuff, even I'm finding that a bit sort of slow and in a way boring, and a bit tedious. But that's purely because I've been spoiled by the 21st century. Um, so this is a game for people that really are fans of the planes in the Second World War, and doesn't mind flying slowly, turning slowly. Um, but yeah, I really, really do miss the fast turning abilities of a Typhoon or an F-16 or something like that. So I'm struggling with it a little bit there. But for accuracy wise, 505 games have done a good job. It's a very accurately portrayed game. The timeline is good, and the engine sounds are pretty cool too. The music's a bit annoying, but I suppose you can switch that off. Yeah, it's an okay flight sim. I don't know how far I will plow through it. I'm going to continue playing it for a bit more, but boredom may set in after a while, and I may end up just playing Ace Combat 8 instead. But yeah, it's a good little flight sim. Did I say Ace Combat 8? I meant Ace Combat 7. Ace Combat 7 is amazing. But yeah, it's a good little flight sim. Um, yeah, that's about all I can say really. There's slow controls, but expected because you're flying old planes that had slow controls. Well, the Spitfire, the Messerschmitt, they were very fast planes. They were known to be top of the line when it came to air superiority at the time. So I think the Spitfire handles a bit slower than I thought it would. Um, its turning ability, its aerial abilities were really impressive. So maybe the game is a bit slow for me. I'm sure. I don't know. The handling seemed a bit slow for a Spitfire. Spitfires are very fast planes. So maybe maybe 505 games have set the game to be a bit too slow for me. And there wasn't much of an increase when I switched to the Spitfire from the first plane that we had, the 109, I think. Um, there wasn't much of an increase, but as we unlock more planes, they may get faster and more powerful, so that might change. So it might just be a case of sort of, same with Gran Turismo, you start with the really slow ones, and then as time goes on, you unlock faster planes, and I do hope that's the case, because at the moment, as it stands, the game's a bit slow for me, but I will plow through a bit further for as long as I can stay awake, and hopefully things will become a bit more exciting and the dogfights will be a bit more fast paced. But for now, yeah, it's not a bad game. Not a bad game. Been spoiled by Ace Combat. If Ace Combat didn't exist, then yeah, this would be amazing. But Ace Combat does at the end of the day. Um, and many, many, many other flight sims out there that are all a lot faster than this. So we've been spoiled by the 21st century, is what I'm trying to say. Which is what has sort of brought this game down a bit for me in the ratings. But we'll see how it goes. And I'll let you know in the next video whether I finish it or not. So until then, thank you very much for joining me. This has been Aces of War on the PS2. I think there's an Aces of War 2 as well. I haven't got that in my collection yet, but if there is, I will get it. And yeah, thank you very much for watching my video. I really appreciate it. And just as a quick side note, we won. Thank you, Sony. You've given us back our PS3 store. Wonderful. You've given us back our Vita store. Wonderful. We are losing the PSP side of things. A loss to a lot of people, but I will be brutally honest. I have not used my PSP store, what there is of it, for a very, very long time. Pretty much all of my PSP games are physical copies, and anything that I have that's download wise from the store, I've downloaded onto my PS3 and then used a cable to transfer it onto my PSP Go. And that still seems to work just fine. So losing the PSP store isn't a big deal, because I use my PSP Go regularly, and I've got a lot of PS1 games on there and PSP titles that I really do enjoy. So it's a good compromise. I will accept that. The PS3 and the Vita, the stores I use regularly. So, and I spend a lot of money on them. So a small compromise. I will quite happily give up the PSP side of things to keep the PS3 and the Vita alive. So I'm fine with that. The only thing Sony need to do now is find some way of sorting out the CMOS, I think it's called, the CMOS battery issue. The battery issue in the PlayStation 3, 4 and 5. Need to sort of patch that up and fix that, and so I've heard Xbox needs to do the same. But other than that, we still have our stores, our Vita stores and our PS3 stores. Well happy with that, well happy. Thank you for listening, Sony, really appreciate it. Great news, great news, because yeah, I for one love the Vita store and I love the PS3 store. I spent a lot of money on it when it came out, and I still spend a lot of money on it today. So yeah, great part of history that we really don't want to lose. So thank you there. And to my viewers, thank you for watching and for hearing me rant for the last 5-10 minutes if you're still here. So yeah, I appreciate it, I really do. So all of you take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you again on the next video. Bye bye.